Good evening, Ananda. We welcome you all to the third day of International Conference on Social Work, Social Sciences, Medical Health, Allied Sciences and Technologies, Intergenerational Solidarity, Health, Well-being, Environment and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, Viksit Bharat at 2047, and also commemorating World Social Work Day, month, week celebrations As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations and sessions. We request all the presenters who are waiting for their presentations to kindly share their details in the chat box in the following format, which is displayed on the screen. You need to share your research title or topic, full name, occupation, that is whatever you are, student, research scholar, faculty, and your department, organization, and from place where you are joining, like city, state, country, an email, mobile number, and total duration of your session. All in one single message you have to share in the chat box. Once we complete today's commemorations, we will invite you for the presentations. And we also request you to mark your attendance for the day by submitting your registration form and feedback form in Zoom platform. Both the registration form and feedback form is mandatory to be eligible for the certificate, as through these two forms we get the data required for the attendance. So today we are commemorating international launch of Global Money Week, which is celebrated from March 17th to 13th. That takes in the third full week of March. This year it takes place from March 13 to 23rd. The Child and Youth Finance International, CYFI, Secretariat coordinates the week-long holiday every year to increase awareness about the economic citizenship and directly educate and youth around the world on the issue. Global Money Week involves a series of activities held at the regional, national, and local levels by partners and stakeholders of CYFI with the goal of financial education and inclusion. So, international launch of Global Money Week is an annual money awareness program devised to inspire children and youths to get financial education. In 2013, it reached roughly 1 million children in 80 countries in Europe, the Americas, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Roughly 403 groups, including NGOs, central banks, ministries of finance, companies, and schools, arranged over 1,000 activities. So during international launch of Global Money Week, children and youth are actively involved in event development, organization, and execution. Among the many activities are youth debates, talks by public figures, webinars, visits to national banks, money museums, parliament, stocks, exchanges, money museums, and local business. They also get to enjoy exhibitions, artistic activities such as plays and cartoons, contests and competitions, financial education, games, charity fundings, video making, radio, and TV shows. So, civil society organizations such as Aflatown, Children International, Save the Child, and World Vision are among the partners of the worldwide initiative. ING Group, NASDAQ, OMX Group, Visa, MasterCard, NYSE, Euronext, and stock exchanges in Belgium, Lithuania, Kenya, Sweden, Malaysia, and the United Kingdom, to mention a few, have all participated in the international launch of Global Money Week in the past. So, money, who created money? Now, you may be having, every civilization has its own money, taking from the Mesopotamian people, did not invent the shekel, the first known form of currency in the West, until roughly 5,000 years ago. Stamp coins were used to pay armies around 650 to 600 BC, when gold and silver coins were invented. Even in India and ancient Indus civilization, we see that currency was in various forms, like in the form of totem symbols and different figures made of stone and alloys and different materials, metals over a period of time. And gradually, today we have paper currency and metal currency. And nowadays, the latest trend is the digital currency. So, money is a medium of exchange that enables individuals to attain the necessities of life. Before money was invented, people exchange items through bartering. According to economists, money can be categorized into four groups. There are fiduciary, fiat, commodity, and commercial. So, educating children and young people about their social economic rights is critical to developing a generation of responsible adults capable of making sound decisions for their future. Talk to the children around you about important financial subjects this week. So, some of your co workers and friends may be unaware of this event. Spread the news on social media and make posts about how important it is. Every year, various events, activities, and competitions are held around the world to commemorate international launch of Global Money Week, and do some research to find out which of them is happening close to you. So mark the date and go prepared to learn and network. So penny wise, it now costs more than a penny to create a penny. So paper currency in the US isn't made from paper, but 25% linen and 75% cotton. So a Delaware farm mulches over 4 tons of ragged American cash into compost daily. It takes around 10 years to qualify to become a banknote engraver. You can microwave a paper bill to get it smooth enough for a vending machine. So this week raises public awareness and gives people the tools they need to take charge of their life. This day was created to raise awareness and provide vital information for people to achieve financial stability. The week teaches people useful financial tips, including how to define realistic financial objectives and make plans to achieve undesired results. Financial education is basic knowledge in today's world. Though outreaches, the week highlights the key factors of financial stability. It provides a platform to promote financial inclusion among a diverse majority, including women and children who have historically been left out. And today is also commemorated from today. This week is commemorated as International Teach Music Week, which is observed every year during the third week of March all around the world. This encourages generally music and dance, encourages overall health and well-being. So this week encourages music lovers, musicians, and music schools to take up new students and introduce them to the world of music. Oftentimes, the first step is the hardest to take, and celebrations such as International Teach Music Week ensures that those who are keen on learning music find the right guidance to get started on their journey. This is a splendid time to step up for the music community. Happy International Teach Music Week to everyone who has shared the joy of music. International Teach Music Week was observed for the first time in 2014. This week long annual celebration invites musicians, music schools, music stories, and other music organizations offer a free lesson or classes to new students. The lessons are made available to the both adults and kids. Since its inception. International Teach Music Week has been celebrated in more than 1,000 locations in 15 countries, including the US, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Croatia, India, Ireland, Japan, Malta, Mexico, New Zealand, Nigeria, Netherlands, Philippines, Switzerland, and the UK. Music truly binds us none another. So, International Teach Music Week is a brainchild of the Keep Music Alive organization. Vincent James, the co founder, said that his organization was thrilled to partner with music and arts and teach more than 1 million music lessons each year. Their commitment and dedication to music education advocacy has been applauded by many as they continue to teach as many students as they can. Keep Music Alive is a national non-profit on a mission to help more kids and adults benefit from the educational, therapeutic, and social benefits of music. To support this mission, they started two international music holidays, International Teach Music Week and Kids Music Day. Apart from music lessons, charity concerts, performances, and concerts are also organized during the International Teach Music Week. Music is not only fun, it is known to play a crucial role in our emotional well being as well as music. Music therapy has proven beneficial our health and it is known to relieve the stress. So keep it short and sweet, rely on themes, teach music your students enjoy, encourage interaction, and introduce friendly competition. As a music teacher, you need to have organizational skills to keep your track of assignments, progress reports, programs, budgets, and lessons. So, Bachelor of Music or is an academic degree awarded by college, university, conservatory upon completion of a program of study in music at bachelor's level. Even now, we have master's level and also at PhD and postdoctoral level. So the celebrations of the International Tech Music Week are organized to keep music alive. Join the organization to show your support and volunteer with them to impart music lessons to all. Have you always wanted to learn to play music but didn't know how to get started? Begin your musical journey this year with International Teach Music Week. Sign up for lessons online or offline and pursue your passion. If you can sing or play an instrument, why not volunteer your skills for International Teach Music Week? Even we also offer the opportunity if you want to perform some music, arts, sing songs, and all as part of cultural activities. We also allow after the sessions you can also volunteer and come forward, and for that also you'll be given certificates. So utilize the opportunities like this where you can show your, showcase your talents. You may even consider starting your own International Teach Music Week celebrations in your community, online or offline. Even though Beyonce had Grammy winning hits that year in 2016, Mozart still sold more records. Rod Stewart's 1997 concert was attended by 3.5 million people, which was the world's largest free concert. Finland has the most metal bands per capita. There are 53.5 metal bands per 1 lakh people in Finland. Metallica was the only band to have performed in Antarctica. In fact, it is the only band to have played on all 7 continents. Prince could play 27 musical instruments and he did in his debut album For You. So This week provides music lovers with the first step to getting started on their music journey. Sometimes the first step is the most difficult to take, but these celebrations provide us with the resources necessary for learning the music. So if you love playing or listening to music, then this week is for you. Hone your craft, pick up an instrument, or learn how to sing, and there's so much to do this week. International Teach Music Week also supports the musical community by bringing them together in the common pursuit of music. As more people take up music, music schools, teachers also find ways to share skills. So this week is also commemorated as National Introverts Week, especially in the US. It is celebrated during the third full week of March each year and takes place from March 17 to 23rd this year. So this was founded by Matthew Pollard, author of the book The Introvert's Edge, and also host of podcast by the same name. It was founded to appreciate introverts all over the world for their qualities and to encourage them to stand proud in their identities. Rather than comparing themselves to extroverts, it is not only extroverts who get ahead in life and reap all the benefits. So it's high time that many stereotypes around the introverts be smashed and the record set straight. And what better way to do this than celebrating introverts for an entire week? Though Matthew Pollard is a person to thank for the idea of having a week to celebrate introverts. Pollard's motive was to encourage introverts from all around the world to be proud who they are. There is still a lot of stigma surrounding introversion and how introverted people are perceived in society. So it is important to engage and dialogue with these issues as well. People tend to make blanket generalizations about the kind of people introverts and extroverts are, which in turn dictates societal expectations of them. This kind of categorizing is unfair and exclusionary since every individual is unique. Personality traits and all, we're talking about the history of introversion, we cannot avoid going back to history of psychoanalysis itself. As personality tests have stemmed from this field, it was back in 1921 the terms introversion and extroversion were popularized as personality traits by Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. According to Jung, introverts direct their energy inwards while extroverts direct their outwards. The binary has now been dismissed as being oversimplicious since introversion and extroversion are now more of spectrum upon which people find themselves. Hence, the term ambivert now exists, one of the first psychologists to develop an assessment of personality traits. This was Hans Eysenck, who, together with his wife, developed the Eysenck Personality Questionnaire. Thanks to these contributions, we now have a world of research that exists on personality types. Even Catherine Briggs and her daughter, Isabel Briggs Mayers, decided to make a test to make personality types accessible to all in 1923. And German psychologist Hans Eysenck comes up with the Eysenck Personality Questionnaire to determine and measure degrees of introversion in 1967. So it was the first introversion test that was invented. And later on in 2007, MBTI test is launched, popularly known as Myers-Briggs test or 16 personalities test. It assesses and categorizes personality types. So there are many famous personalities who are and are known introverts. Perhaps one of the biggest names is Albert Einstein, one of the most famous scientists in the world and are also known as introvert. In fact, the most scientists or the highly achieved people are always introverts as per the research because they are focusing more on themselves rather than on the external world. That's why they get more time to think, ponder, explore Otherwise, what happens? Extroverts are more, like celebrities or more of sportsmen or, kind of those who focus on outer world, other aspects. That's why they are famous. They're very popular, but these introverts are more like scientists, doctors who are creating innovations and inventions. So you can check yourself whether you are introvert or extrovert. There is also in between, that is ambivert. So Canada tops the list of best countries for introverts to live in, with Australia and Ireland coming in at spots 2 and 3 respectively, as per a research. And the four main subtypes of introverts are social introverts, thinking introverts, anxious introverts, and restrained or inhibited introverts. So there is a world of different personality tests out there, ranging from light and silly to surprisingly accurate in-depth analysis of personality types. We recommend you to try out some of the most popular ones with the scientific backing. Like the 16 personality test, you may be surprised at what you find, and it can help you give better self-awareness. There is no better time or opportunity than this to make time to express appreciation for anyone in your life who is an introvert. This week can be made even more meaningful by finding out what makes them tick and making them feel special in those ways. There are many skills that introverts possess which are worth learning for themselves. One of the most known traits of introverts is that they are problem solvers and create people who can generate great ideas. There are also better team players and tend to pursue longer than perhaps extroverts do. Some of more famous introverts includes Bill Gates, Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, and Elon Musk. All highly inspirational people we want to learn from. So, introvert superpowers you may want to possess. Like many introverts have the ability to make themselves laugh as they prefer their own company. Introverts don't need to feed off the energy of others, so all they need is some alone time to recharge their social batteries. Introverts tend to invest in relationships deeply, which means you'll have a friend for life. Boredom as a concept barely exists for introverts, since doing nothing is kind of ideal too. A very underrated power, but one nonetheless, is the ability to listen more and speak less. So it's a chance to celebrate introversion on this Introverts Week. So why should extroverts have the limelight all the time? With National Introverts Week, those behind the scenes have a chance to be recognized and appreciated, even if there is no party thrown for them, which is probably preferred. There is a lot that can be learned from traits of introverts. As a race, human beings are ever on journey of inclusion, and so a week to celebrate those who might otherwise be excluded is a great way to further this quest. It encourages introverts to feel more comfortable in their skin and reminds them to be proud of their identity. It fosters greater understanding by helping to create spaces for engagement, a dialogue with personality differences. This week can further people's understanding of how each type is valued and respected. It can break commonly led misconceptions and about introverted behavior and help us understand ourselves and those around us better. This week is also commemorated as Pediatric Nurse Practitioners Week from March 7 to 22nd, especially in US. This is related to child health. Pediatric Nurse Practitioner Week coincides with the National Pediatric Healthcare in-person conference. This year it takes place from March 17 to 22nd. This week honors pediatric nurses, practitioners, PNPs who devote their time and energy to their work as caregivers to infants and as educators to parents of infants they care for. These pediatric nurse practitioners are certified and licensed advanced nurses. There are several settings that where PNP's work, including hospitals, special clinics, and health centers. If you are interested in earning your certification and becoming a nurse, there are some nursing scholarships to help you. The pediatric nurse practitioner's career field first began in 1965 when the first pediatric nurse practitioner program was created. The first master degree program for pediatric nurse practitioners was initiated in 1967 at Boston College. The role was formed to meet the needs of underserved the field of pediatrics. In 1973, National Association of Pediatric Nurse Practitioners, NAPNAP, was formed, and by 1980, almost 20,000 pediatric nurse practitioners were practicing in the United States. In 1985, the American Academy of Nurse Practitioners were created. The pediatric nurse practitioners specialize in newborn, infant, and adolescent care, and pediatric nurse practitioners have extensive experience in primary pediatric health care and management, and the prevention of acute pediatric illness and chronic conditions. Pediatric nurse practitioners not only take care of infants, they also educate families on infant care. In 2010, the Advanced Practice Registered Nurses met with the White House Officer of Health Reform to discuss the importance of having an influential voice to convey primary care quality and safety to government officials, and especially how vital it is to recognize healthcare providers and workers as key players in solving the health crisis. In 2013, the American Academy of Nurse Practitioners and the American College of Nurse Practitioners merged to form a member organization. Pediatric Nurse Practitioner Week is a relatively new development created to honor the effort of these special nurses. So it takes about 6 years for a full-time course to become a pediatric nurse. And when coming to earning, pediatric nurses have higher earning potential than most nurses. Pediatric nurses administer shots, specifically vaccines and immunization shots, along with other regular duties. Pediatric nurse practitioners do some of the most daunting jobs, hang banners and put up colorful posters in your community centers, or you find different ways to honor them. So pediatric nurse practitioners have acted as an advocates for primary access to healthcare for children from low-income communities for the past 50 years. Pediatric nurses practitioners have the lowest malpractice rates in the medical field. Pediatric nurse practitioners can establish solo practice without a physician in 23 American states. Pediatric nurse practitioners are a vital part of the primary care workforce. In the United States, pediatric nurse practitioners get a little over 1 billion patient visits globally. So the celebration honors the efforts and achievements of pediatric nurse practitioners in providing quality health care. This day is a demonstration of public appreciation, encouragement, and support. Pediatric Nurse Practitioner Week spreads awareness on child care issues. Some of these issues include substance abuse, speech disorders, ADHD, and child trafficking. The celebration of PNP is a call to action to recruit more pediatric nurses. We need more professionals caring for infants and children. So today is also commemorated as this week is commemorated as Elderly Week, especially in the US from March 17th to 22nd, which is related to geriatrics and old age people and senior citizens, which is observed in the US on the third week of March. And this year it will be commemorated from March 13th to 22nd. We should celebrate our elders every day of the year, but it's important to designate observations that are dedicated to the well-being of senior citizens. The Elderly Week encourages community members to come together and help elderly live their life to the fullest. So during this week, the elderly are encouraged to take up hobbies or pursue passion. And this week aims to offer complete well-being to the elderly, physical, mental, emotional, and financial. So Elderly Week gives a new meaning to acting your age. The celebrations encourage seniors to pursue a passion, take up a new hobby, and do what makes them happy. It is a reminder that retirement years are an opportunity to develop interests that were unable to pursue in our youth. Pursuing a hobby not keeps the elderly occupied, but it is also an important for their emotional and mental well-being. Modern senior living communities host events that involve social and physical activity. You can also sign up for courses that address the needs of aging population and community service. Looking after the well-being of seniors does more than only benefit seniors. It also creates a society where people are sensitive to the needs of others. Experts agree that making provisions for physical well-being and financial independence also benefit seniors. You can chime in for Elderly Week by partaking in simple activities such as accompanying seniors around you on a walk or swim. These exercises increase mobility, improve flexibility, promote heart health, and most importantly, help them build friendships. So seniors are an amazing group of people and we have much of to learn from them. Though active senior lifestyles, better nutrition, and the pursuit of passion, life post retirement can equally be fulfilling too. Elderly Week reminds us that the age is a number and age does not have to limit fun, growth, and vitality. If we all assume responsibility for senior well being, we'll reap its benefits when our time comes. Now, according to the law, a senior citizen means any person who is 60 years or above, more than 20% of the population over 65 years of age in three oldest states in the US. Senior citizens are also known as golden agers, pensioners, retirees, elders, or seniors. We should respect senior citizens because they have much to teach us about the ways of life and how to face adversities. Celebrate Elderly Week by visiting a senior citizen center. Volunteer your time and spend some hours in the company of elderly. They make for the great company and have much wisdom to share. So thank them for services to the community for being steadfast guides to those around them. A great way to celebrate Elderly Week is by donating to senior citizen centers. You can also donate to organizations that are involved in ensuring the well-being of senior citizens. So pick a cause of your choice. So, 1 out of 10 elderly in the US is a victim of abuse. About 10% of the elderly population in the US lives in poverty. People over 75 years visit the doctor about 3 times more often than people of ages 22 to 44. 4 out of 5 elderly Americans suffer from chronic illness, and about 99% of Americans aged 65% and older have insurance. So, ensuring the well being of the elderly community is our collective duty. Celebrations such as Elderly Week help us collectively channel our resources for the benefit of seniors. The reason why Elderly Week with so much enthusiasm is because we love the elderly week. We value their contributions to society and the many ways in which they enrich our lives. So when we celebrate Elderly Week, the youth learn to take care of the elderly and ensure that seniors can live a life of joy and dignity. It also teaches them to be proactive in senior well-being. Today is also commemorated as Act Happy Day, which is an annual event celebrated on the third Monday of March, and this year it will be marked on March 17th. It has been almost 20 years plus since Act Happy Day was created by Dr. Dale Anderson, who believed that simply acting happy, even when one did not feel so, could bring a positive change in life. People celebrate this day by doing everything that helps them get a good laugh. The activities can be anything from watching movies, comedy specials, or just getting together with close friendships who always lighten up the mood. The origins of Act Happy Day take us back to the 2004 when Anderson initiated the day. Dr. Anderson's theory was that if he starts smiling and acting happy, he would eventually be happy. He believed that people who laughed regularly were in a better state of mind to deal with other people at work or school. Being in a good state of mind also helps strengthen relationships with the spouse of other members of the family. Dr. Anderson suggests that one starts his or her day with 15 minutes of a belly laugh. This releases endorphins in the body and gets the person in a better mood to take on challenges of the day. To further raise awareness of the benefits of laughter, Dr. Dale created Act Happy Day, a day dedicated to being happy and laughing, no matter what the circumstances are. People are encouraged to spend time with their close ones and engage in activities that help them have a good laugh. With over 35 years of experience specializing in biomechanical medicine and patient education, Dr. Anderson is a trained and certified general surgeon at Mayo Clinic. He is also a member of the Complementary Medicine Department of Park Nicollet Medical Center. Dr. Anderson also worked as a clinical assistant professor in the University of Minnesota Medical School. He fondly referred to as dermatologist, Dr. Act Happy, and Dr. Welder. Today is also commemorated as Doctor Patient Trust Day, which is celebrated on March 17th, especially in US. This day is dedicated to the doctors who work to save lives by safeguarding the trust of their patients. Indeed, treating a patient means understanding the most personal aspects of their body and mind. People in healthcare are bound by the ethics of medical profession to never disclose personal information about their patients, and doctors are responsible for saving countless lives all over the world. They are responsible for healthcare, which is one of the most important traits in our world. Without proper developments in the medical field, the human population would have been reduced by more than half. The history of medical science dates back to dawn of human civilization. Even before that, your ancestors knew about the healing potency of some of the herbs. The art of healing flourished around the Iron Age. Various civilizations like the Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Indian, and Chinese developed their medicinal schools and physicians. The development of modern medicine has resulted in an increase of the lifespan and living conditions of the people. It aided in drastically lowering infant mortality, average lifespan, death during delivery, and complicated health conditions caused by common illness, and so on. So, medical advancements brought doctors closer to the patient's personal lives and intimate information. So, the medical code of conduct requires healthcare workers to keep personal information of their patients secret. We are going through a time when healthcare is at its best. But healthcare improved, so did the germs and complexity of diseases and health conditions. Doctors now need more and more personal information to get an accurate diagnosis of a patient's condition. But people are sensitive about their personal information, and there are instances when they withhold that information from their doctors. Trust between a doctor and his patient is the most important factor for the success of treatment. Doctor Patient Trust Day was created to spread awareness about the ethics and code of conduct that every healthcare worker follows. It is a day to make people aware of the importance of passing correct information to doctors. It is also a day for doctors to make sure they adhere to the latest standards for keeping the trust of the patients. So there should always be an open channel for proper communication between doctors and patients. A competent doctor can make us trust him or her, but it always better to have a good second opinion when it comes to medicine, and hence always research the doctor through various verified sources. Open communication and understanding of patient needs and desires, active listening, caring, and prioritizing patients' perspectives and circumstances can go a long way in improving the doctor-patient relationship. The Declaration of Geneva describes in detail the ethical standards needed for medical workers worldwide. Take a day to read and understand the full document. Watch a surgery video online. This can help you a better appreciation of the skill, effort, and hard work of medical professionals. Interview a doctor and get his or her perspective about the doctor-patient trust bond, and try to spread the interview to your friend circle for spreading awareness. So Hezira is the name for chief of dentists and physicians in Egypt, and he was one of the first doctors in the world. Sushruta is known as the father of surgery for describing and conducting surgical procedures in 800 BC. Hippocrates is created the father of modern medicine. Friedrich Certner, a German scientist, developed morphine. Ayurveda is the oldest surviving form of medicine that is still in existence. The job of a doctor is never an easy one. They will need fast decisions that could affect the entire life of a patient. It is a day to appreciate the effort and hard work of doctors. The day is also an opportunity to spend the day on your health check. Take the day to take care of our body. So interview various medical professionals to understand their work, note down how they try to make a patient feel comfortable. Today is also commemorated as Evacuation Day in US, which is the day British Army has forced the city to leave city of Boston of George Washington victorious fortification of Dorchester Heights. It was the first major military victory for Americans, playing a vital role in the war effort by boosting troop morale. It also made Washington, who was the commander of the Continental Army, a popular figure among Americans and undoubtedly contributed to his election as the first president of the US. Evacuation Day coincides with St. Patrick's Day, which many Bostonians look forward with great anticipation, which is related to freedom. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for being part of these commemorations. Now, we shall move to paper presentations. Those who have presentations can share your details in the chat box in the format as displayed on the screen. We'll be calling you one by one. And once again, I request all the presenters to complete your presentations at the earliest, because once you come, many presenters are even registering even now, but they are not coming forward for presentations. We cannot give you more time in the last days. So whatever time is available, we can only allot. So don't wait till last day. Try to complete them as early as possible. So only those who are completing the formalities as per the presentation guidelines are being scheduled. So if you are not scheduled, if your session is not scheduled on website, that means you have not completed the formalities required. So complete the formalities so that your session is scheduled. Otherwise also you can join every day at 6 o'clock and share your details in the chat box to host, so that the organizers will allow you for the presentation once the commemorations are over. Now we will invite, we'll go to chat box and take the request from chat box. So Reshma MR, are you there? You can raise your hand if you are there. And one more request to all the all the presenters, when you are given the course permissions, there will be a poll. As you can see, you have also filled the registration form. Do not end the poll. You can minimize it. If you close it, then others, including you, will not be able to register. And whoever is doing such sorts of activities will be banned forever on this platform. So when you are given permissions, you have to just unmute yourself, start your video and start your presentations. And after your presentation, stop your presentation and mute yourself so that you can take any further queries. And once after receiving the feedback, you can stop your video and mute yourself. So kindly follow the instructions. All the presenters are requested to go through the presentation guidelines before the presentation. So Reshma, now you can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma. Start your video as well.
Okay, sir.
Start your video and presentation, ma.
Okay, yes, sir.
In the meanwhile, other presenters, be prepared. Share your details in the chat box.
So is it visible? Sir, my presentation is visible.
No, ma, not yet.
Okay, sir.
You have to click on share screen. Share, there is a button, na? Share. In Zoom. Do you know how to share screen in Zoom platform?
Yes, sir.
So you open your PPT first, then go to Zoom. There you will see a green button, share. Click on that share button and then select the window in which your PPT is shown and click on share. Make it fast, ma.
Okay, sir. No.
It's not visible. Make sure you are connected to a good network, preferably Wi-Fi.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma. Start your video and presentation.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Reshma Emma, research scholar in SS Training College, Ottapalam,
We can't see you.
Palakkad.
We
Hello,
can't
sir.
see you. Your video. We can't see your video and we can't see your PPT.
Sir, here there is a problem in share screen. So,
You otherwise you
I
do
will
one.
follow the
But
presentation.
we'll invite next speaker by the time you fix it. Okay?
Okay, sir.
You fix it and be ready. We'll invite next speaker. After that, we will invite you again.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So next we'll move on to next presenter. Anyone who would like to make presentations? Share your details in chat box. The schedule is on website. As in very short notice, we have issued this. So on-spot registrations are going. So whoever is completing, only their details are being updated. So you'll not get complete schedule as and when things are happening. We are updated. Now we invite Mr. Pradeep to take over for animal welfare workshop, third session on this third day. Pradeep is animal activist, animal advocate, and he is also a financial advisor. So he would be presenting on factory farming and modern day food systems. Over to you, Pradeep. You can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Thank you, Ravind sir, for this presentation. Let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. You can
Thank you,
continue.
sir. Thank you, sir, for confirming. A very good evening, one and all. On behalf of Sea Holistic Health Foundation and also CCAS, we welcome you all to this international social work day. So today I'm going to talk about the factory farming and modern day food systems. In this topic, we will be covering about the various aspects of industrialized animal agriculture and how it is affecting our food systems. Before going to further, we need to know about what are actually farm animals. So, what are farm animals? So farm animals are the animals which have been raised and domesticated. If you're going to look into our great grandfather times, you might be seeing in hen, cattle. So you have a special bonding with them. Uh, Even pigs also. We have been seeing many of the pig areas. So till 1994, if you can see in the picture, this was the we used to have the pastoral farming mechanisms and a natural farming where we have a special bond with the animals. You can ask me of your grandfather or your parents. they will say that we have a very special bond with our cattle, and hence used to play with them. So that was a very good time, and most of the time, animals also have a special bond with the humans because providing them the food, water, and essential things. Uh, they have been not treated as a commodity. So as the technology increases and also the income levels has increased, we have switched from the traditional farming to most industrialized, modern day of sophisticated technologies, which we call as factory farming. So normally we talk about sustainable foods, but what are actually sustainable? Sustainable foods are those foods which are climate resilience and which are environmental friendly foods, and at the same time, uh, which is not harming the our environment and public health, and also following the uh, animal welfare practices. So, as I discussed with you, the writing how the income levels are being increased, and as the income levels of the people has increased, the demand for the new demand for meat and dairy products also has been increased, because in order to compensate the population uh, for foods, slowly they started to modernize it. So, in the name of modernization, they have forgot about the welfare measures of the animals. So, if you can see the first picture and the second picture, you can definitely notice what actually is missing, how they have been transported, and is the way, yeah, as we talk about sustainable foods, is the second picture depicts about sustainable food systems. We have to know like where our food has been produced, where exactly it is produced, how is it produced from a sustainable source. And if we talk about every day, we talk about egg, because when you seen about advertisements, an egg keeps us healthy. Is it getting from an hygienic kind of source? Lot of the time, if you see about if you have got any time to visit any poultry farms, you can see that how much amount of toxic waste has been deposited, and even the animals are also being caged. They have been not provided enough space to move around. And if you talk about in the chickens, the male ones has been treated as a byproduct, and pigs have been trimmed, and they have been thrown into the hot boiling water. So that much amount of suffering for the animals is there. And this is the aerial view of a poultry farm. And this is the exactly where our meat and eggs have been produced. Lot of nitrates and other ammonia, all other toxic waste has been getting deposited over. And in turn, there is a huge amount of suffering. At the same time, it also affects the people who are working. They are also suffer from lot of problems, because constantly being working over there, they have been exposed to lot of toxic gases, toxic chemicals. So they usually they have eye burns, and at the same time constantly being working every day with the animals being uh, cruelly kept over there. So they also have some psychological problems as well. So, and moreover, the children who have been working over there, seeing this condition and suffering of the animals, they also have developed a lot of psychological issues. And what actually is missing is the five freedoms of animals. Yesterday we have discussed in depth about the freedoms, five freedoms of animal welfare. The animals are not provided enough amount. They have been The first one is freedom from hunger and thirst. They have not provided proper food and water, and they have been violated from the I mean, they have a lot of pain and injury. That is freedom from pain and injury and diseases. And third thing is freedom from fear and distress. Constantly kept in cages, tightly packed. They have been, they have developed a lot of fear, and at the same time, freedom from discomfort. They're not able to move and freedom to express its normal behavior. If you talk about hens, they've perching, roosting, and dust bathing, all these natural behaviors, they have been curtailed by the industrial animal agriculture mechanisms. And when you talk about dairy, so dairy, normally we talk about milk. The production of milk is categorized into two types. One is organized sector and another is unorganized sector. So the normally organized sector is like the milk packers, how we do it. So how we like a lot of the milk, pasteurized milk packets which we get from them. So the dairy uh, producers. I mean, the dairy companies in there, a lot of dairy producing organizations. So they purchase from the farmers and they do a lot of pasteurization and indirectly we actually uh, take that milk. And the other one is unorganized sector. The unorganized sector is from where the farmers used to uh, provide food, water, and everything, and they sell this milk to the after sell to the milk to people. So here in the unorganized sector, there is no amount of suffering is there. But when you compare to the organized sector, a lot of mechanization is there. Here there is the suffering of the animals. They have been used the oxytocin as scheduled drug, which has been banned. They will be using in the dairy, and their calves have been some male calves have been separated, and their mother has been treated as a milking machine. So a lot of suffering is there. And this is exactly the milk has been produced in India or across the world also. When we talk about the sustainability, we talk about sustainable goals. So we talk about sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals are global goals which are adopted by the United Nations in the year of 2015. Earlier it was Millennium Development Goals. So these have been replaced by Sustainable Development Goals in order to achieve the peace and prosperity. So we have see that zero hunger, good health and well-being, and no poverty, clean water and sanitation, responsible consumption, climate change. These are all the things they have like mostly majority mentioned. We talk about this second, zero hunger. And hunger and achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. This is the goal number two, zero hunger. When we talk about Indian Global Hunger Index, as per the year 2023 is concerned, we have seen that condition of the, if you look up about the global hunger index based on the undernourishment, child wasting, child stunting, and child mortality rate. They talk about that we are far more behind our neighboring countries and even Bangladesh also. The problem is not with the lack of food. The problem is 40% of our food has been wasted. When you talk about any functions or any other time, most of the food has been wasted. And the rest of the food which has been kept for feeding these animals. And that too, they are getting enough things? They have been kept in a very cramped condition. And because of the 40% of the food, there is also a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. And when we talk about good health and well-being, everyone want a good health. Everyone want a good food. But are we getting the enough food? And also, are we getting the right health, good health? The question remains as $1 million question. Because whatever food we eat today, it is always manufactured some lot of manufactured and produced in mode of mechanization, and at the same time the milk, most of the milk, if you can see that as per the various newspaper source, much of the milk has been contaminated because of the lot of mechanization and development. The mechanization or industrialization should make our health and also the food which is a sustainable food. It should not develop food problems, and also it should not suffer environment. It should not suffer animals. When we talk about the India, we have seen that lot of what actually happens when animal welfare measures have been not properly taken care. We are seeing that COVID in the year of 2020 to 2022 till we have seen lot of the first phase and the second phase. We have been confined in our homes. The 2 years, there is lack of communication. There is no physical contact. We have been stuck to our homes. So you might have been seeing a lot of how we have experienced. One is we have been lot of psychological and emotionally we have been missing. The connection has been missing. Now imagine the suffering of the animals out there. How much suffering they undergo every day, and how much pain they undergo every day. Not only the COVID-19, many of the diseases. And if you talk about plague in 1994 in India, which has spread to Gujarat, Maharashtra, Delhi, they were leading to quarantine. Extreme administrative procedures have been, many of the things have been, and there are several outbreaks which was happened because of the lack of improper animal welfare practices. There are many outbreaks which has happened. If we talk about the 2006 dengue outbreak in India and H5N1 outbreak in India, 2008 H5N1 outbreak in West Bengal, 2015 the swine flu outbreak, 2018 to 21 Nipah virus outbreak in Kerala, 2020 COVID-19, which has shackled the entire world, economy, everything. And now you have seen avian influenza. Why this is happening is because of improper animal welfare measures, and while transportation of animals, there are a lot of there is a transmission of diseases also. So if they are not following any proper animal welfare measures, there will be contamination of diseases from, because they will not see, they hear the animals are not being kept in proper condition. If we talk about cattle, someone they will no soap them. They are like commodities. They will get treated as a commodities rather than a living being. So when the half the portion they reach over there, some of them they die, and some experience a lot of bruises, wounds, and suffering, which in turn develops a diseases also. So these animals acts as a disease carriers, because there is lot of uh, there is lack of animal welfare measures. When we talk about safe drinking water, that means clean water and sanitation. When we talk about, everyone want clean and accessible water, because water is essential part of the world. When we talk about how many freshwater lakes across the world, say in India, only very few. And is there is sufficient fresh water to the planet to achieve the target 6.1 safe drinking water for all? Due to the bad economics and poor infrastructure, millions of people, including children, die every year from various diseases associated with inadequate water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. If you talk about, around 785 million people remain without even basic drinking water. And when you talk about how much water you have, water footprint, when we talk about it, how much water we have utilized for producing of 1 kg of food. If we talk about chicken, for producing 1 kg of chicken, it actually needs 4,325 liters of water. That is in terms of cleaning the cages, providing the food and water. So the water footprint is more. That much amount of food has been wasted. When we talk about the vegetables or any oranges or anything, comparatively, comparatively it is relatively less in number. Such amount of such amount of water resources have been utilized for producing of 1 kg of chicken. How can anyone can get a proper water? That is also a $1 million question. And when we all need good environment, we all need good health. But how can we get a good environment and a good health when you are neglecting animal health? Because lack of animal welfare, which will undoubtedly affect the two of the parameters, that is environmental health and human health. So there is a one concept which is called as One Health, which is integration of environmental health, human health, and animal health. So this is a trisectoral approach, which we essentially need to be followed in order to, that is for our survival and existence. It is a mandatory thing. If one of them is absent, it will affect both the parameters, so either in the environment, human health, and also if you say there is lack of animal health, then it will undoubtedly affect the environmental health and human health. So it is a trisector approach which need to be integrated and followed in all areas at regional level and state, national, and world. And when you talk about the lot of environmental stresses, there is air pollution, noise, and hazardous chemicals. We are seeing Delhi, the how the pollution levels is there, and climate change. We don't have to talk it. We are experiencing climate change. Every year we have been seeing, every time the earth is getting warmer and warmer. As per the recent IMD reports also, when we talk about it, this is the warmest month. We are not even reached the month of May, but still the temperature is increasing. This is all because of the human activity. And also, we have seen heat waves, and we are also seeing sometimes we have seen cyclones, disasters, which in turn creates immediate threat to human and animal health. At the same time, when there is a heat waves, you can see that there is also infectious diseases, allergies, like infectious diseases like malaria, dengue, and pollution. You have been seeing. Delhi is an example for that. Many of the cities in India, we have been seeing we are not able to breathe. It is affecting our daily lives, either in what of in terms of air, water, etc. And if we talk about water pollution, harmful, toxic, poisonous substances have been released to the water bodies. That means rivers, oceans, and lakes. They are not even, if you talk about rivers, once there was, we used to drink water, like forefather time or even our parents' time, they used to drink water from these rivers. Now it is even not even drinkable. And most of the marine lives, like fish and aquatic animals, the survival the survival is extremely difficult because of the toxic chemicals. So how can we have the sustainable food systems and everything? Because the meat is one of the uh, meat is one of the significant contributor for global greenhouse gas emissions. Talk about animal agriculture. It constitutes for around 14.5% to 16.5% global greenhouse gas emissions. If you talk about by 2050, their projected increase will be 50%. So how we can all can have a sustainable food sources, equity will be distributed food, and have a clean water, and how we all can conserve our environment and protect animals, and at the same time we can also have a sustainable living. The need of the hour is alternative food systems, and these are not nothing new. These are all there in our traditional Indian food, uh, except few of them, shared meat replacements. So most of them, if you talk about soya, beans, lentils, these are all used in our households. So and they are all climate resilient foods. And if you even in the government of India also make it as a millets of the year, because millets are one of the sustainable foods. So in forefather times, every time they used to eat this millets, ragi, so many of them. So they are also protein source foods. And if you compare the health wise, during our forefather times, our grandmother, their life expectancy was more and they were so strong. Why? Because they eat the sustainable foods. They most of the time they don't have junk food systems or lace packet or any other things. They used to have this uh sustainable foods, and even very limited. They have limited health problems at that time. And when we talk about these alternatives, and nowadays alternative food systems are also there. So many of the alternative food systems, like we can't talk about replacements, like veg meat, many of the companies are also introducing that. And even in dairy, we we are also getting soya milk, coconut milk. So these are all inexpensive, so which we can incorporate. By incorporating all this, you can also protect your health, protect your environment, and protect animals also. And finally, plant-based foods rich in vegetables, legumes, and other food. If we can go and if we can daily incorporate daily, if you can incorporate in your dietary needs, it will feed the billion of the people and save many animal lives. And at the same time, it protects the epidemic diseases. Someone like, if you are not able to reduce meat and dairy, you can opt for cage free. Cage free, they're free range farming. By doing so, you are actually helping a smallhold farmer, because of the industrialized animal agriculture. One industrialized animal agriculture setup is being there. Smallhold farmers are losing their livelihood. So if you can shift to the cage free or free range farming products, you are helping the smallhold farmers, especially women, and you are also making them economically sustainable. And finally, I can say one thing. Remember, the choices which we make on our dinner table, our dinner plate, which will affect not only our health and well-being, but also the environment and animals. Here is one of the snippet about, it's in a Telugu movie. About food adulteration. Nowadays, you can have it, look about it.
There's no sound, Pradeep.
Sir, there is a sound problem, sir.
Okay.
So basically, it talks about how the food adulteration is here, been happening in various parts, like ranging from even tea to the water, and also how they have been produced it. So since there is no volume here, I cannot able to get the clear crystal sound about it. So one thing I can say you is food is a medicine for everything. So, but are you taking the right food? Sustainable food is lies in your hands. So whatever food you take, you choose to be sustainable, environmental friendly, and at the same time, uh, you should also remember about the welfare of the animals. You don't have to go and rescue thousands of animals, but just by making conscious choices, it will uh, help their lives and your health. So with that, I'm ending my presentation. Uh, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And thank you for everyone for so patiently listening uh, this uh, session. And thanks a lot to Ravindra sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep, for your wonderful session. So let's have some interactive discussion. The mics will be open for some time, but
Sure.
unmute yourself one by one. Don't be in a hurry and don't create a mess around. So Shilpa Bhagat, yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead, ma.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Preeti. Sir, actually, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay. I want to share something that changed my perspective this towards animal cruelty. Earlier, we used to only listen, or I used to write about these things, but I have never felt like this before. One day, I was standing at the bus stop and waiting for my bus. Suddenly, I sensed something wrong. That something is coming, and that was like a ball which has been kicked by someone. And I just looked back and I saw chickens lying there. And at the middle of the road, I saw that chicken lying there. I thought someone will come and pick it up and take it back. That was a meat shop. That was very terrible experience. What I saw, the people around there were sitting, and the man who has kicked that chicken was standing and observing and was waiting till the bus came. And and whatever happened, I was literally very shocked. And he just picked that chicken and all his intestine body. I don't know how to explain, but that was very terrible experience on my part. I cried for whole day. I researched, I wrote article, I tried to reach to some places. But the thing is that everyone said just a chicken. I went to this I don't want to name that organization, very famous organization. and the man sitting there that claimed to be for the welfare of the animal, he asked me about what animal you are asking, and I said chicken. He was shocked and his eyes popped up that for chicken you came so far just for a chicken. He said, oh, he thought that it was the case of a cow or something like that. And when he said this, either it is chicken, either it a cow or a calf, I if such was the case, I would have surely helped you. And the second thing I was means that was a life, whether it is a chicken, whether it is a cow. And when I searched, I found no rights for the chicken. I and minimal, I think 25 rupees penalty. And I was really shocked at that time. And I found no one who could have said to me that it was not a chicken, it was about a life. And literally I saw that scene. I made photographs. I make that photograph of that and the blood over there. I cannot explain, literally I cannot explain. But at the end of the day, I finally decided that one thing I can do, I will not eat chicken, though I was not eating for a long time. But now I felt, why should I not eat the chicken? So when you started the slide, and I thought that at least I met someone who can understand what I have must felt that time. For others, that was only the case of a chicken. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shilpaji, for explaining it. So normally, the problem is uh, there is a law, Shilpaji, like transportation of animals. So and at the same time, we have a beautiful act called Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. Since you explained about the how the chicken has been treated, it's been taken. So it comes under cruelty. So I was really shocked to hear about your experience about how the animal welfare, being an animal welfare organization, how they have been neglected this case. So,
Actually everyone around me was just telling me that it was
mm,
just a chicken. But what I was
mm,
feeling, and I
mm,
explained to them that this is not normal,
mm,
this is cruelty. And some
yes,
of them were like, this is not cruelty, this happens. And like you said
mm,
earlier, that it is the psychology. And
yeah.
they explained it to me that this is their task, they have to do it. So you need not to say anything about it.
It's actually the production methods. See, uh, the way the animals have been treated over there. So you can still file the case, and if you notice any such circumstances, you can take a video, and also you can go approach the near police station also. You don't need to approach any animal welfare organization. If you notice any cruelty, in coming days, I will be sharing about the procedure for that and what are the applicability of laws and what are the different type of animal cruelties happening. So how you can be the voice for voiceless animals. So every part of it, I will be covering, Shivaji. So I'm glad that you have made a decision that you are not choosing to be like consuming the animals and to choose for sustainable food sources. And that was nice to hear your experience. Don't worry about Shilpaji. I will, coming days, I'll surely
Okay.
mention about this.
Okay, thank you.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, Shilpa, for sharing. In fact, we are not always conscious about who we are, what we are. No, when we cannot give life, we have no right to take life. Can we give life? Can we gift a life to anyone on this planet?
No.
Then who has given right take life. When we don't have the right power to give life to anyone, then definitely we don't have any right to take any life. And are we taking consent from that particular animal or person before taking life? Is that animal or bird or person is happy to sacrifice his life? If it is a human, you will be convicted because it is a case of murder.
Yeah, true.
But because animals cannot speak for themselves, so does that mean, can we take it for granted that animals can be killed brutally, insanely? No, that's a violation of animal rights. No, that is where our conscious. See, that's why I keep telling in many sessions, we are educated illiterates. The lack of value education in our education, mainstream education, that is the result of that. We don't have values and morals imbibed in our modern education. That doesn't teach what is good, what is bad. And because such kind of education, these problems persist today. See, one example, common example I will give. Drinking, alcohol abuse, or alcohol consumption. Is there any benefit from consuming alcohol? Anyone can unmute and say, is there any single benefit from drinking alcohol or from smoking? But how many of people are consuming alcohol daily? Yeah, Nina. You can unmute yourself. Nina, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rendra. I just want to say that was a nice presentation. Thank you, presenter. It appears to me that in our current society these days, there are more cruelty that stem from human to human. We are talking about animal cruelty, but it's not just limited to that, because in our society it is now rampant. Before now, people have a good positive emotional feelings towards human dignity, preservation of lives, protection of one another, the neighborhood, both in the slum, rural area, as well as in the urban cities. But these days, you see it all over, even in social media, in the rural area. People don't just have feelings of sympathy, empathy towards one another anymore. People are getting used to it. They will even pass by a corpse and laugh at it, make jest on it without lending helping hand. It's actually a societal vice and needs to be curbed. That's my thought. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nina. Actually, the problem is not that, people don't have feelings. They have feelings, but the problem is the feelings are not properly channelized. Because those feelings are based on propaganda or false information or disinformation. And as you rightly pointed out, there is lack of sensitivity. We are not sensitized to certain issues. We are either oversensitive or we are not at all sensitive to certain issues. And as you rightly pointed out also, see, there are a lot of crimes happening on human beings. So there are two perspectives here. One thing is, yes, we are not able to address the cruelty towards human beings in a way at a scale that we cannot prevent cruelty. It's difficult. That is where, people take undue advantage of the existing system. There are animal laws, but how many of the police officers or the people who are implementing the law know about the laws? Awareness of laws is the first step. Now, after, even if they are aware of the laws, now the magnitude of work or burden of work they have and the kind of priorities and pressures, we are more focused towards human issues because, you know, they are more, we all have a voice, we raise voice, and there are a lot of human rights organizations. And unfortunately, today's human rights organizations are highly biased. It's very unfortunate. One side I will appreciate for their good things, and the other side, they stand by the terrorists who kill people when they are convicted. And what about the victims who have suffered? What about the victim families? And when we have no right to take life, and one person takes lives, and you are advocating for his rights, then what kind of message you are giving to others? Are you really concerned about human rights? Then what about the rights of the person who has been killed, who has been injured? What about the families of the victim? You are not fighting for them. So these are different perspectives. At the same time, we don't say that even the perpetrator, even the terrorist also has human rights. We agree. Because he is a human, he will also have human rights. Human rights are universal. They come by birth for everyone, including for rapists, murderers, terrorists. But when they are violating, they do not deserve. Now here, when they do not understand, when they are violating, then their privilege to these rights are no longer a privilege because they do not understand. And they are violating human rights, which are also universal to others, which are also a universal right to others, which are also a birthright for others. So certain things we have to be very sensitive, but unfortunately, world is divided on various lines. So we see a lot of things are happening, unwanted things, all for power, all for wealth. Most of the things happen only for two things in the world. One is for power, to gain power, and other is for gaining wealth. These two are the evils today that can help the world, that can destroy them. That is the reason. And to gain quick power or to gain quick wealth, people are resorting to all kinds of immoral, unethical, corrupt practices that are making them more vulnerable, violating the norms, rules, and regulations and laws. That's why it is very much important that we need to inculcate value education. value of life. What is value of life? What is the purpose of life? Unless and you understand what is the value of life, you will not understand these concepts. When you understand the value of life, then life is life for every species. It is as equal as human life. When you understand that life is same for everyone, it is equally important for everyone, then you'll also understand that it is not correct to take anyone's life and also to violate anyone's human rights. But this kind of maturity is lacking in many of us. And people also, especially, we are talking today about sustainable development goals. But how far we are to achieve these sustainable development goals? How far the measures that has been taken since 2015 till now are effective? To what extent, to what percentage we have been able to achieve under each goal? If we see, it's very unfortunate that we are far away from what we have set. And 2030 is not far away. This year is 2025. And we have 5 years left. And things are day by day degrading in all aspects. Nothing is improving. We have one technology, and the other side we have technology. One side is the good thing that it is giving productive, and the other thing is destructive. Now, to gain quick power and wealth, people are misusing the science and technologies. Like uranium, plutonium, nuclear elements are. They can be used to generate power. They can be used to generate treatment for cures like cancers, tumors, and they can be used to create energy used for domestic purposes, industrial purposes. But what man is using for? Creating atom bombs. Is it required? To create an unrest world, to gain power and wealth, US started manufacturing, these nuclear bombs. And what happened in World War I and II? What happened to Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki? The world has witnessed. And in that race, world also has understood that this is a race, a competition where unless and until we possess nuclear weapons, we are not going to be surviving, because they will always keep dominating other nations, and it is still being done. Many countries who don't possess. That's why the UN Disarmament Week is celebrated, day is celebrated, and all nations have come together. And unfortunately, the nuclear weapon-powered nations have withdrawn themselves, disagreeing that we will not disarm ourselves. Because they know once they disarm, no one will listen to them. Because the power to destroy others lies in the form of atom bombs, nuclear weapons. Now, why this? To have power, control on the entire world, and to have massive wealth by putting restrictions that no one cannot manufacture themselves, no one cannot procure any nuclear weapons. And if you procure, you have a lot of sanctions. And a war can also be declared to destroy that weapon along with the country. We have seen many wars that has happened and financial sanctions that has happened. And that's why many countries even thrive today to possess a nuclear weapon. Why? Similarly, it is not that particular element. It may, I have given just an example of a nuclear weapon or a atom bomb. Similarly, the power to control other species. Why this animal cruelty happens? Because animals are vulnerable. They cannot speak. And they do not have courts like us. They do not have law enforcement officers, agencies for them. So they are vulnerable. They cannot defend themselves. And that's why more cruelty, pain is inflicted on them. That in turn gets transferred to human beings as well. We see a lot of cases where they start doing it on animals first. Then slowly that get transferred to vulnerable human beings, that is children, disabled, and the elders, because they are vulnerable because of their physical, mental, cognitive, and other aspects. So all these aspects, maybe in coming sessions, Pradeep will deal in detail. So why this is more important is, to address at the root cause itself. And today it's our preference, food preference, that is creating a lot of diseases. Today, our lifestyle, it is creating a lot of diseases for us, not only for us, but because of our food preference to eat non-veg or meat, many species are reared just for the sake of food and killed just for the sake of food. And recently, I have seen a survey was conducted. That people are saying, generally we say, animals has life, so don't eat it. People also say, yes, plants also have life. So we are also eating them. So we are also killing them. We are also inflicting pain. But plants are not sentient beings. But animals are. They feel pain, pleasure, everything. Plants also do feel. It doesn't mean that plants are not to that extent sentient. But they also have. They also reflect. But still, there is a difference between both. I don't want to take now time. But in coming days, we will have exclusive sessions on which we will also talk on this. Even after the conference also, we conduct so many sessions. Can be part of it. We keep conducting workshops, seminars, symposiums. You can be part of exclusively animal welfare related sessions where you can be part of it. But at the end of the day, I would only like to submit that, see, God has created, or if you don't believe in God also, a superpower has created species to balance the planet, the entire food cycle. And we should not be disturbing that to an extent where they outgrow and create a new problem. Today, the media, advertisement, propaganda, because we have moved from a value-based economy to capitalist economy. Here, the only thing matters is money, markets, margins. So they are not worried. Today we are talking about sustainable development because they were not at all worried about nature, environment. They started destroying like anything. And today it impacted the entire species on the planet, and no one is left behind from the impact of climate change. Everyone is impacted. Every nook and corner, even Antarctica, Arctica, poles are also impacted. So when such kind of impact is there, which is global phenomenon, then everyone is responsible. Then who is more responsible? We need to think. Then we need to raise our voice, because it is not just the ones because of which the problem has created, because we are all stakeholders and we are all responsible to give a voice. And today we have social media. That's why we see so much content being driven. Even social media companies also has their own agenda. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you say, they have their own biased agenda. They allow only certain content. You see, certain content is trended like anything. Certain content will be immediately removed. Why? Many times you see. Because they also work on hidden agendas, and certain things which are violating their own terms, you see, because they are trendy, they don't remove them because they want business. They want more shares, more likes, more engagement. So they keep sharing unless and until even that violation becomes a trend that Facebook don't really monitor. Then when that becomes a trend, then they remove. So still that, you can see a lot of social media posts. Even an interaction generates business. So you might wonder why such a video is there, but that is only to create an interaction. People comment saying this is a stupid video. It is not at all worth to be listed on a platform. Starting from that, to give all sorts of comments. So that generates a lot of data, lot of interaction among the visitors of social media or consumers of social media. From among those ideas, arguments come up, discussion come up. There is a lot of engagement that happens. So when we are especially, talking about this animal welfare, we need to create such kind of engagement. And we should not be worried about the negative things. Negative publicity or negative promotion is a promotion that goes on like a wildfire. If I say, suppose, because we know each other, I will take the freedom to say Pradeep is a good boy. Now, how many of you will immediately clap or appreciate? If I say Pradeep is not so effective, then how many will start coming? Immediately, when we see some negative news, people start gossiping. Hey, I know he's like that. I know he's like this. So negativity attracts us more than positive. That's why most of the negative things are in news. Even news channels, you see, lot of negativity. So we need to overcome that negativity. We need to appreciate, because when we appreciate someone, people think, you are somewhere inferior to them. because he has or she has achieved so much you did not achieve. Again, that is kind of complexity that prevents us to appreciate. Because if we appreciate that person, then what about me? I didn't do nothing. Means I did not achieve anything. So if I appreciate, he will be better than me. So that's why I should not appreciate. Though he is doing good thing, I will not appreciate or her. This is the kind of mindset people that prevents people to support or to openly, promote positives. So negative things, if you say something, that gossip will start like a wild, and everyone keeps adding, and it's a very big chain. That's the kind of trending because they want engagement. That's why we see if you want to get, especially celebrities, especially media, they create so much of negative publicity. Why? They create a lot of issues about that because they get free publicity. They get so when we have that kind of complexity, so when we have that kind of inhibitions, that kind of mindset, we will continue to foster negativity. That's where even on social media, even saving someone will not create so much of hype, but killing someone, inflicting pain on someone, inflicting cruelty on someone, torturing someone, abusing someone, creates a lot of engagement. That is why we need to change our mindset so that we foster more of this kind of positive engagement, positive activism. Then automatically things will change. So I think I have taken more time, but to change the mindset of people, as our friends were talking about, so many things are happening around us, but why we are so insensitive to all these? Because these kind of things are happening, and we should be conscious enough to have a voice. If you see any negative comment, cut there itself. Don't spread it. If you hear anything good thing, you start spreading. If there is some action required, then you spread. If there is some cruelty happening, you mention that, saying that you need to stop them. Ramesh, can you mute yourself? So this is a problem. We don't give mics access. Kindly wait for your turn. So when this happens, we need to give a voice along with the solution or along with the action to be taken. So let's all be the advocates, not only for animals, for also human beings, for birds and everything else, because all lives are precious. So with this, I thank Pradeep once again for this wonderful thought-provoking session. And we also had discussion. And if anyone has any thoughts also, you can feel free to unmute yourself and share.
Thank you, Ravindra sir, for the wonderful encouragement. And thank you, everyone. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, if there are no queries, then we'll move on to our next presenter. So, are you ready, Ma, Reshma?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You can start
yes,
sharing.
sir.
A second, we'll begin. I think there is lot of background noise. You have to move to a quiet place.
Okay, sir.
Or you can share.
Hello. Hello, sir.
You start your video, Ma, first.
Okay, sir.
Or you share your PPT and start your video. Whichever. Because generally, if you have, this is step-by-step procedure where you can see where there is some problem. Initially, if you have, unmute yourself, you can check whether your audio is working or not. Then if you check video, then you can test like that by step you can do.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, if you start sharing and your bandwidth doesn't support, you don't know where the problem is. Your screen is visible now. Ma. You can go to again the first slide. You can also start your video. If you have some problem, you switch on. We'll take a screenshot, then you can switch on. No problem. But we need to document. We need to. Be fast. No? Reshma, you are muted. If you don't switch on your video, then we will not be allowing. We are repeatedly saying, and you are doing repeatedly. You switch on your video because we don't know who is presenting, right? Okay, now you share your PPT. You unmute your mic also.
Okay, sir.
And now you start sharing your PPT as well.
Okay, sir. Can I proceed? I am Reshma MR, Research Scholar, NSS Training College at Palam, Palakkad, Kerala, under the supervision of Professor Dr. Ambali Aravind. The title of my title of the paper is The Role of Technology in Alternate Education, a Thematic Analysis. Introduction. Alternate education refers to education systems that provide non-traditional teaching and learning methods, often tailored to the specific needs of students who may face barriers in conventional schools. These barriers can range from academic struggles to social or emotional challenges. Technology, with its vast and array of tools and applications, has played an increasingly vital role in enhancing the flexibility, accessibility, and personalization of learning in alternative education settings. This paper aims to provide a thematic analysis of the role of technology in alternative education by focusing on the intersection of technology. In intersection of technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge, this analysis explores the potential of digital tools or to revolutionize teaching practices, address the unique needs of students in alternative education, and promote more engaging and inclusive learning environments. The benefits of alternative education. The first benefits of alternative education is personalized learning through technology. One of the primary benefits of technology in alternative education is its ability to enable personalized learning. In contrast to traditional education, where the curriculum is often one size fits all. Alternative education emphasizes customized learning experiences. Technology Technology offers numerous tools that can adapt content to meet the specific needs of individual learners, allowing students to progress at their own pace. The adaptive learning technologies such as Newton and Dreambox adjust the difficulty and scope of content based on the learner's progress. Example, in an alternate education setting, a student struggling with math can use an adaptive learning platform that identify their weakness in specific areas like algebra, providing focused practice and support. Conversely, a student excelling in the subject can be offered more challenging material, ensuring that both students remain engaged. Then other benefits of technology in alternative education is engagement and motivation through gamification and interactive tools. Alternative education students often exhibit disengagement from traditional education systems, which can lead to low motivation. Gamification and interactive technologies offer new methods to re-engage students by making learning more enjoyable and rewarding. Platforms like Kahoot, Classcraft, and Duolingo integrate game mechanics into the learning process. For example, a student in an alternative school who struggles with completing assignments can be motivated by a system where they earn rewards for finishing tasks. Through a gamified platform, the student is encouraged to complete assignments incrementally, rewards and recognition that enhance their sense of achievement. Accessibility and flexibility. One of the major challenges faced by students in alternative education is the lack of access to traditional schooling resources. Many students in alternative education programs are non-traditional learners who may have barriers such as health issues, family obligations, or geographical isolation. Blended learning models where students combine face-to-face instruction The online coursework provides flexibility and allows students to learn at their own pace. Student in an alternate education program who is recovering from an illness can continue their studies remotely via online lessons. With the flexibility of online learning tools, they are not left behind in their coursework while dealing with the personal circumstance. The other benefits of alternative technology in alternative education are social, emotional learning, and collaboration. Alternate education places a significant emphasis on developing students' social emotional skills, as many of these students may face emotional or behavioral challenges. Technology can play an important role in enhancing social emotional learning by providing digital tools that foster collaboration, reflection, and emotional regulation. Teacher profession development and support. For technology to be effectively integrated into alternate education, teachers must be equipped with the skills and knowledge to use it effectively. This requires ongoing professional development that focuses on the intersection of technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. The TPAC framework is particularly relevant for alternate education setting as it guides educators in integrating technology with pedagogy and content. Conclusion. The integration of technology in alternate education offers significant opportunities to enhance personal development, increase student engagement, and improve accessibility. By leveraging digital tools, alternate education settings can provide flexible, individualized, and more engaging learning experiences for students who face challenges in traditional education system. However, for technology to be most effective, educators must embrace the TPAC framework, integrating technology with the sound pedagogical strategies and content knowledge to create dynamic and inclusive learning environments. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Congratulations, ma'am. So what, in what context you have collected this data, ma'am? Who are the participants? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, you have taken, you have done comparison, traditional and alternative.
No, sir. It's a technology integration of in alternate education.
So who were the stakeholders?
Alternate education. Hello.
Who were the students, which grade, or they were from school or college?
No, sir. Alternative education is an outbox concept, sir. The students in alternative education institutions are comparatively slow learners than traditional schools. They are not adjusting traditional or conventional education system or instrument education. So they have an alternative way of education.
Okay, fine. Okay, anyway, congratulations. Wish you all the success for your future endeavors. Anyone else has any queries? Feel free to share. Okay, if there is none, then we will conclude it here. So we thank each and everyone for being part of this third day of international conference. And we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which will be raised now, to mark your attendance. To those who are willing to make presentations, try to register and complete them at the earliest. Don't wait till the last minute. There will be no schedule as such, because schedule will be only prepared for those who are completing formalities. So if your name is not listed, that means you have not gone through the presentation guidelines and you have not completed the guidelines. So complete your guidelines, complete your formalities, then only you will be eligible for the certificate. See, it's your decision. We are not forcing anyone on anything. We have guidelines. Every organization has its own system and its own guidelines. Whether you follow or you don't follow, it's up to you. If you follow, you will get the benefits. If you don't follow, you only get the benefits to the extent you follow. Now, no need to blame anyone. If anyone has to be blamed, it is only you, because you are the ones who are taking decision whether to follow or not to follow, or to extend how much to follow. And that is your decision. So only if you follow, then the system will allow you and system will generate a certificate. So it is up to you. Then no one is forcing anyone here. Even without certificate also, you can come, participate, you can present and go. Even without registration also, you can participate, you can present. But you will be not part of the documentation, because there is no data from you. And unless you complete the formalities, your certificate will not be generated. Now, if you are taking decision not to complete the formalities, it is up to you. Then again, don't come and blame that, we have attended, but we did not get certificate. Because that is system you have to follow. If you don't want to follow, that is your decision. Then don't ask for certificate. So certificate comes last, because, and once you decide to participate and present, follow the guidelines, whatever is mentioned, and according to the guidelines, if you complete it in time, then certificate will automatically follow. No need to worry about certificates. If you don't follow, then forget about it. Don't blame anyone, including yourself also. Why to blame when you are consciously taking decision of not following? Then you are already prepared now. You don't want certificate. That's why you are not following. So why don't blame yourself and don't blame others also? Because it is your decision not to follow, not to complete. So do whatever you do it consciously. That's what we say. Whatever you are doing or whatever you are taking, you take informed decisions. We all take decisions. We don't take informed decisions. Informed decisions are those we are aware of the consequences. So we take decision knowing the consequences. So we know if we take this decision, then this is going to be the consequence. Certain decisions we take, but without knowing the consequences, there we are not unaware. We are not well informed or misinformed or disinformed or not at all informed. But here, you are informed with everything, and the responsibility to be informed lies with yourself. Because when you receive a message or when you see a message somewhere, It is your responsibility to get educated on that particular message, go and whereabouts, find out and follow what are the rules and regulations, and then get all the benefits which are intended to you by following the rules and regulations or by following the guidelines. No one is stopping you, anyone here. And that is the beauty of this platform. Whatever you want, to that extent, you can get. You can register, attend freely, participate freely, present freely. No one is stopping you unless and until you are violating the rules and regulations. But we will not check until you apply for certificate. Because you are asking a document from us, we also need documentation from your side in a proper format within the prescribed time. So till you apply for certificate, we are not going to check whether you are completing formalities or not. We will be checking. It doesn't mean that we don't check anything. We will be checking, but we are not very specific about that. But if you are coming for the certificate, there is nothing wrong. No need to feel bad. If you are coming for the sake of certificate, then you ensure that you are following the formalities. Because anyway, your aim is to get certificate also. Then only when you complete your formalities, then only you will be able to get your certificate. So if you are coming only for the sake of knowledge, then that's fine. So that's why you have to be very clear of what is your goal here. Whether to just gain knowledge or whether to just disseminate knowledge, or along with these also get a certificate, or along with this get any additional benefits. So it's entirely up to you. We'll not say that only when you do that, you will be allowed for presentations. You present, no problem. But again, you are not following the rules and regulations. So anyway, fine, that's okay. We will encourage as long as the content is fine. But again, don't expect that without completing the formalities, you can get your certificate. That is not possible because this is all systematic. That is why people, face problems because they don't follow, they don't want to follow, and they just think that they can directly come, present, and go. Certificate will come automatically. No, that doesn't happen here on this planet. You have to, no matter who you are, doesn't matter. Even you and me for the platform is same. This platform is run by volunteers. We all are volunteers. As a volunteer, we are contributing as a volunteer. We are presenting as a volunteer. We are participating. So it is our responsibility. It is not the responsibility of organization. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility to complete my duty. And if at all I have to blame myself only, not others, for not completing my formalities. And because of my decision, I am only going to face the consequence, not others. Because it is your decision. You know that. It is your decision and you are the person who have taken that decision. And why to blame others? And why to blame yourself also? No need, none. Because you only have taken decision. So not just, I have just given an example of this certificate and platform because we understand when we are in context. But even in life also, we don't take responsibility of ourselves. We take decision and keep saying, we know that we have to do it, but we don't do it. And we start blaming that person is like that system is like that, this is that. First, you be correct. You do whatever you have to do. and keep persistently doing it, consistently doing it until you get it. For some people, it's a cakewalk. Some people, it's a lifelong journey. Again, it depends. There are various factors, but as long as you are consistent, persistent, you will get the benefits. And there is no one to be blamed because it is your own decision, and based on that, your own consequences. So we can only take a decision. We cannot decide on the consequences. Consequences come based on the decisions. So in life also take positive decisions, productive decisions, informed decisions, so that there is always success in whatever you take up. So we wish you all the success for all the participants. And before leaving, I once again remind you to fill the feedback form, and those who are willing to make presentations, register and present at the earliest. Don't wait for last day, and you can inform your friends to utilize this opportunity and make presentations in coming days. So generally it's 6 to 8, but based on the demand of or based on the sessions, we will try to give everyone opportunity. So till the last presenter, we'll give opportunity. So sometimes it may get extended. So there is no fixed end time. So as long as the last participant is there, we will entertain. So make use of this opportunity, but we'll be starting at 6. And immediately registration form is shared, and you fill the registration form, and then we'll be starting sessions. So tomorrow also, we have wonderful speakers, a panel of speakers from US and from other countries. So join and also share with your friends so that they can also get benefit. And whichever day you are attending, you will get certificate. So no need to worry that I am only attending 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Whichever day you are attending, you will get certificate. So no need to worry. So even if you attend 1 day, especially tomorrow, we will have wonderful sessions. So do join. Every day we have wonderful sessions. It doesn't mean that not every day we don't have. But, tomorrow Professor Matt is coming on the platform to talk about emotional intelligence and a few others. And day after tomorrow also, that is 19th also, 19th, 20, 21st, 3 days. We are having international speakers who will be talking on positive mental health, emotional intelligence, and so on. This will be very useful. And tomorrow is World Social Work Day. We know every year we celebrate World Social Work Day on 3rd Tuesday of March. So tomorrow being 3rd Tuesday of March, we are celebrating World Social Work Day. On this occasion, we will deal in depth about social work, and whoever is interested to present on social work is welcome. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. Take care. Good night.